What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about two Grayscale trusts today. We're going to talk about BCHG and LTCN. Maybe we'll get into some other ones by the end of this video. I know it's been a while since we've talked about some Grayscale trusts, so hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. So looking at this here, as of the beginning of February, you basically hit your lows of about $3.01, $3 and what is it at low? $3.03 there. Consolidating now, you've hit your lows in the oversold zone right down here. Basically, literally finding your lowest lows that you've seen in quite some time, actually. Let's see. That might be the lowest lows you've ever seen, man. If not some of the lowest lows you've ever seen. Let's just see what you've done at these moments, right? So here, let's put a line there, right? Let's do that. Line here, so a little bit of support right here, right at this area, right there in the oversold zone, right? It didn't merit much. You didn't continue to grow, but it was a localized low where you did find support and you bounced. Let's see, from a low point here, come on, to the high point, you did bounce 90%. And essentially, let's see, that would have been July 15th to the end of July. So in like a 2-week period, this was good for a bounce in a 2-week period. Now you were in the middle of a bear market, so of course you continued going down. Here, I wouldn't say you're in a bear market. You are in a prolonged correction, but it is just a correction, right? You are in a bull market overall. Don't forget the underlying asset to this is bullish. And I've been looking at BCH here and comparing it to just my thoughts on some other cryptos, and I genuinely believe we might not be bullish enough, you guys. There are so many cryptos right now that look like this. They have this triangle shape, whether it's a symmetrical triangle, whether it's a, I don't know, some kind of wedge like this. They're in these long multi-cycle phase consolidation phases, and the coins XRP, XLM, others that have broken out of their multi-cycle consolidation phases already, we've seen them go all the way up to where the consolidation phase began. All I'm trying to offer is that if we break out, if you look at the price action for Bitcoin here, or Bitcoin Cash at $322 now, the next likely price area to stop to, if you break this area here, and I think you will in less than a month's time. In less than a month's time, you'll be breaking out, but within a month's time or more, you'll be at your relative high. I could really see Bitcoin Cash going to either this high or this high, which really opens the door. And I know I haven't talked about it a lot, but I've really been considering it over the past couple days, especially just looking at charts and how they've been performing across the space. I really do believe that we've been talking about 1300 as a kind of minimum target, right? I think that 1500, 1700, those might be minimum targets, honestly, and going up to here, even at the all-time highs around $3,000 to $4,000. That could be. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you guys, by the end of this move, maybe not by the end of March, but by the end of this move, which it could continue past March into April, May, I think that we will see Bitcoin Cash do an over 10x move. I think this breakout of this pattern, it's going to go nowhere else but where it most obviously should go, which is all the way up to the top. The minimum target would at least be here at $1,700, $1,600, $1,500, somewhere in that area. You're at 322 now. So understanding that, and we are on the precipice, my friends, we are on the precipice of breaking out of this. Absolutely we are. Understanding that, BCHG being tethered, not directly tethered, but kind of indirectly tethered to Bitcoin Cash. I'm actually curious. Let's see. What's BCH? What's the premium or the discount right now? Prepare your eyes, my friends. You're about to burn your retinas. NAV price 288, market price 353. That's because Bitcoin Cash dropped a little bit too, right? Yeah. If they add more, would that make the NAV price go up? Or if they take it away, would that make it go up? I don't know. My brain's fried right now. And I know that this changes every now and then. Bitcoin Cash per share, I feel like it's gone down. Bitcoin Cash per share, would that mean the shares go up? I don't know. I'm not going to think about that. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted here. Getting back to the charts, my brain's fried, you guys. Looking at the daily time frame, we are in a daily downtrend right here, right? Daily downtrend right here in the oversold zone, bouncing at some of the lowest levels we've had. Meanwhile, Bitcoin Cash is on the precipice of breaking out to new relative highs. Maybe new all-time highs, but new relative highs. Something that would at least get us up about a 5x from here or more, something like that. If not over a 10x, I genuinely think over a 10x move. It might not seem obvious now, but once we're there, I think it's going to seem completely obvious that a move like this was the only option when breaking out of a consolidation pattern of this magnitude, your breakout move in a very short amount of time. And I think that's why I've been messing around here for so long, is we're getting set up for something truly stupendous, right? Last time we were in this area in the course of 3 months, literally at the beginning of Bitcoin Cash's life, ever since the hard fork, from this price, 2 months later, we are all the way at $4,300. From this exact price here, we've done this before. I'm just calling for that same move. That's it. But now, instead of the block wars, instead of a bunch of bad publicity or assumptions that BCH is just a Ponzi Bitcoin, right? There's actually validation to it, and there's more building and more of a community and more fundamental value now than there ever has been. And on the chart as well, you're about to break out of a multi-cycle consolidation phase. It's completely feasible that not only could you see the same move, but you might see it happen faster. It might even be bigger. I'm just saying, we've been talking about $1,300 to $1,700 for so long that I think common sense went out the window a little bit, and just analyzing this whole pattern, it makes total sense to me. The common sense thing would be that you return to the top of the pattern. In fact, that's with tightening wedges, with what do they call them? Descending wedges. Tightening wedge, I forget, falling wedges. That's a very common thing, or triangle patterns. It's a very common thing. BCHG, getting back to that now, in culmination with this, right, I expect that you will soon, very soon, break out of this daily downtrend that you've been in now since October of 2024. So this daily downtrend here has basically been the result of this consolidation phase here. So when you break out of the downtrend in the RSI, I would assume that you see some kind of retracement of this consolidation phase, right, relative to the RSI. So starting soon, likely by the end of this month, you see some retracing going on. Going into March, I would assume that you see more retracing going on, right? We're looking for Bitcoin Cash itself to do, I mean, what would this be? At a minimum, genuinely a minimum, I'm going to go for $1,500. Just below that high. I think it'd actually go to that high, but that's about a 4.6x. So if Bitcoin Cash is going to do a 4.6x, I would assume that BCHG would then do something probably comparable to that, right? Something that's at $16 to $24 at a minimum by the end of this move. And after such a long consolidation phase yourself, and after all this despair and turmoil, and dropping down here with very minimal levels of volume, I would expect nothing less than an explosive upcoming. You look at this chart, and you look at where you are, you're at your most relative area of support down here. If we take a relative low to a relative high here, you're also at your 1414 area, finding support there right to a T on the 1414. If we take a low to a high here, I wonder if you're at your 382. You are just below your 382 and finding support right above your 0.5. Maybe being at 353, maybe you return to 273, but I don't see that happening because, again, your NAV price is above that. So I don't think that you drop below your NAV price. Or maybe that's your final capitulation event. You drop just below NAV price, you find support on the 0.5, and then you rip. But one way or another, I would assume that by the end of this move, and I would actually very strongly assume that if you look at this, it's going to be nothing shy of a V-shaped recovery, you guys. We are literally going to recover faster on the way up, I think, than we did on the way down. That's my expectation, right? We did the same thing last time. I know that might seem crazy because of how long it's been since we've seen upside movements, but look at this. Look at this zone here from a high to a low. Look at how fast you went up there compared to how long it took just to retrace that whole move. You know what I mean? So when we go up, this thing knows one pace. It takes the elevator up, it takes the stairs down. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that we forget, in these depressing times, we forget what it can do. But quite literally, this move up here to about $24, it's the same move that we made back here in the same time. Literally, February 26, 2024, we made the exact same move by the first week of April that I'm essentially expecting us to make right now. At the exact, a whole year later, we're going to do the exact same thing. That's crazy. And maybe we don't go as high as $24. Maybe we only see a 360% move, which is about 1584. But if Bitcoin Cash goes up to 360%, I would assume BCHG goes up more. And then that's just the minimum target, right? What if BCH does what, and the reason I got distracted from this, but if we look at XRP, right? I know I'm all over the place. We look at XRP though, you see this thing, right? You can see its triangle that it was clearly in, right? Lower highs, higher lows, all that stuff, right? Whenever it broke out, did it stop at its first target? No. It found support on that, but it stopped at its second target, at the high of this range. You go to XLM, stellar lumens, right? Same kind of concept. If you take these higher lows here, whoops, that's not the best drawn line, but you can kind of see what I'm going for at the tip here. Did you go? I mean, I guess you didn't have a secondary target or first. It was a flat base. So, but nonetheless, you went back to the top of the range, of the pattern range still. right? I don't know what would be it. Is H bar did not consolidate for multiple cycles, did it? No, no. I don't know, but when you broke out, you went all the way up to your highs again, just below your highs to be fair, but you didn't stop here whenever you broke out. It wouldn't make sense that you'd stop there at your nearest point on a breakout. That's all I'm trying to say. With Bitcoin Cash, the minimum targets make sense for BCHG to return to 1584 to 2377, $25, something like that. But if Bitcoin Cash does pull, I know it sounds crazy, but mark my words, it might seem crazy now, but after it happens, it's going to seem crazy that we didn't see it coming. If Bitcoin Cash pulls a 10x or more, BCHG would likely do the same. And then we're talking about new all-time highs. And again, my friends, this is all what I'm assuming will happen by the end of this next move. Now, how long is this move going to last? It could last, parts of it could last until the end of March. And then I suspect we see a consolidation phase going into the end of March, going into the beginning of April. We'll see a consolidation phase. And then going into April, going into the middle of April, end of April, and going into May, I could see us moving back up again, right? I don't expect us to consolidate nearly as long as what we have here for Grayscale or nearly as long as what we have for BCH. I think it's going to be small consolidation phases from here on out. But time will tell. So all that to say, where we are at the end of March might not be where we are by the end of this move. By the end of this move, I could really see BCHG, this move, not the end of the cycle, just the end of this move. I could genuinely see it being around its all-time highs. And I know that sounds crazy, and I know I'm probably not speaking to the right crowd because a lot of you are depressed about the price. It's been a while, right? I haven't talked about it because it's depressing to watch, but there's some hope, man. Things are about to change. You are about to break out of this downtrend in your daily RSI, and I suspect that at the very least would be a cause for some kind of upside, right? Here, you had a downtrend, you broke it right there, just barely, just for a little bit, and that caused a little bit of upside. What did that give you from the low to a high? That was enough to pump you up over 150%, and you still went lower. Now things seem to be a lot more of a bullish environment, right? Things are probably going to happen in a way that we haven't seen this whole cycle coming up on this next month. I would assume at the very least you see a comparable move, if not actually something bigger than that. So I'm just saying, man, calling for Bitcoin BCHG to return to the double digits, right? You're at $3 now, but I'm talking about $10 or more by the end of March. I don't think that's crazy at all, and I think it's actually a very possible, very likely thing to happen. I would bet BCHG is worth more than $10, potentially even more than $15 by the end of March. I'm going to move on from this, okay? We spent a lot of time talking about that. Let's go to LTCN. I said that I might talk about some other ones, but I probably won't because I'm talking so much already. I think that I've made the point with BCH, so it might be easier to make this point with LTC. I don't need to say the same things, right? Because you can see a very similar pattern going on here with LTC, right? It's a very similar to XLM, right? You didn't have that first target, you just had the secondary target, which is the top of the range, not even a secondary target. I don't know what I'm saying. You only have one target, which is the top of the range. And for Stellar or for Litecoin, it's not that high. It's not as high as the potential of Bitcoin Cash that I was saying. You would only go up about 200%. But what if now? What if Litecoin doesn't stop here? What if that's too obvious? What if it doesn't stop here, and what if it breaks out through this attempt? What if from a relative cycle high of last cycle to the relative low, you stop somewhere, you break out of the zone entirely, you shock the world, and you stop somewhere in your primary extended zone? What if Litecoin also sees a 10x? Now, I'm not saying that I think it's going to see this. In fact, I would think it's a lot less likely that Litecoin sees a 10x than Bitcoin Cash sees a 10x, and already that's unlikely too. I'm just saying the minimum target would undeniably be here. Undeniably, it would be something of 150% to a 235% move. That's the expected minimum target. So if we're going to go for a maximum target, it has to be above there. What's above there? Well, the next one's up here, and that would be a minimum of about a 6x to potentially a maximum of about a 13x. Okay, I'm just saying it can happen. We've been consolidating for 2 cycles. These kind of behavioral breakouts happen with coins like this. The coins that have broken out, that have been consolidating for multiple cycles, they've seen nothing less than extraordinary multi-100% moves, right? Both of them. LTCN also at a relative low point. Let's find LTCN. Let's burn our retina some more, my friends. Oh my goodness, really paints me in a different light, doesn't it? Why does it do this? I want LTCN Grayscale. Why does it just... No, I don't want Grayscale. I want this. I want this one. It doesn't do that. I just click on the wrong thing because I'm oblivious. Market share price, NAV price 1065. So you're close, but Litecoin went down a little bit too, so that's why the NAV price went down. I think Litecoin's up, isn't it, from Friday's close? Let's just see. I guess you're down, actually. I guess you're down. So you might open up down a little bit to start the week. That's okay, whatever. To be fair, LTCN kind of looks like a bull trap right now. Anytime you see this, think of this as like your fishing line, and that's like your fish hook, right? It's the bull trap. It's this little, it looks like a hook. Anytime, it's almost, it rarely fails, right? You have the same thing here. Look at that hook, and then boom, right? You know what I mean? Like it's perfect. It's almost perfect. Look at all these little bull trap hooks. They're very obvious when you're looking for them. And then on the way up, look at the bear trap hooks, right? You can see to the downside. It's somewhat obvious. It's more obvious in hindsight, right? It's not so obvious in the but if you recognize it in hindsight, it might better prepare you to recognize it. Okay, that's my daughter. Hold on. Sorry, guys. It's my near 3-year-old daughter. She's learning how to talk. But I have an office. I have an office space now. It's nice. It's actually really nice, but there's no door. It's like a little nook. So I gotta pick my times to make these videos. My daughter, whenever she's going to bed, she's still up. Enough talk. I'm just saying that was my little girl. My pride and joy, my love. So fish hooks, bull traps, right? You might come down a little bit, right? It makes sense to me that you would come down. Daily RSI here. You've got the higher highs in the RSI. You've got the lower highs in the price. It's hidden bearish divergence. You've got this bearish look to you. So I bet you do come down. You probably find support where you found support before, down here at about $10. And no, you won't go that low, because 1065 is your NAV. Litecoin would have to drop more, and I don't think Litecoin's going to drop that much more. So no, you probably don't need to go down that. How much would you go down? Let's see. Low to high here. I mean, maybe you drop to 1095. If Litecoin drops too, then yeah, you could drop to 1095, because then the NAV price would drop down. Maybe you drop back down there. Maybe this isn't a bull trap after all. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. If it's not a bull trap, you'll just keep going. If it's not a bull trap, you will sustain readings above the 60 and get into the overbought zone. If that's the case, then it's not a bull trap. You're actually breaking out and it's going on. And even if it is some kind of quote unquote trap where you pull back, I don't think it's going to be an actual bull trap in the sense of you're going to see a lower low. A true bull trap would send you to a lower low. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just saying trap as in if you bought the top, you're going to get sucked into this low, and then eventually we'll break out. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it just breaks out. I don't know. Because that's a bit extreme there. 1095 to me seems a bit extreme of a drop from here, considering your NAV price and considering that I don't think LTC is going to drop that much. I think LTC is about to rip, actually. So anyways, we got the same kind of estimates, right? 200% gains, 160% gains for LTC, potentially as high as what, like a 13x, something like that, 1200% gains. So 160% for LTC might reflect in prices around $35 to $30 for LTCN. If it was a 500% move, which we also could see happening because that was the minimum, I think the minimum fib extension on your 1272, right? Let's see. It was like a 520% move. So that kind of maneuver would take LTCN to new cycle highs, not new all-time highs, but new cycle highs. And then if LTC were to see something crazy happen, I mean, LTCN would definitely see prices above $100 at that point. And LTC, I'm just saying LTC could. I don't think that it will see a 10x. Again, I think BCHG or BCH and therefore BCHG as well, I think those are more likely to see a 10x. But you never know. It's the things that you expect to do better that tend to do not as well. They still do well, but not as well. And it's the things that you expect to underperform that tend to overperform. So LTC, I really have a feeling. I have a feeling about both BCH and LTC because they are so underestimated. But I just feel like LTC, I don't know. I really could see it outperforming Bitcoin Cash. And if that's the case, maybe Bitcoin Cash doesn't do a 10x. When I say outperforming Bitcoin Cash, I just mean on this pump. I don't know about the rest of the cycle. I just feel like on this pump, but we'll see. Because I feel like LTC has a lot more pent-up aggression this cycle. I think it's going to rip, but BCH is also at a really key area to break out to. It's going to be interesting to see. It's not a competition. We can all make money together, but let's wrap this up, damn it, okay? So where was I going to go with that? 552% would put us at That would put us around here. But if Litecoin itself went up about this much percentage-wise, LTCN would likely go up a little bit more. $88, $113 could very well be on the table by the end of March. If not, at least something that is above this high, at least something that is at prices that you haven't seen since essentially a year ago. Something in this golden ratio, and likely, honestly, it would be something up here. I genuinely think that you are due for a move that's 200% or more LTCN within the next month. And again, the same point that I made with BCHG, I'm going to make it here. It took you from a high to this point here. It took you 210 days to get to your low. 210 days. By default, or by contrast, whenever you're at this same price, even a little bit lower here at your low here, it took you about a quarter of that time to find your high. So you're taking the elevator up and you're taking the stairs down, right? So when this thing moves up, it's going to move at a pace that's going to be unfamiliar. It's not going to seem real. You're going to feel like it moves up here. Oh, it's time to sell. Instead of selling, it just keeps going up. Oh, it's up here at these areas of resistance, this area of resistance. Oh, it's time to sell. You're gonna, and maybe it is momentarily, but it's not going to be anything like what it's been, right? We're not going to see these long phases of consolidation, probably for the rest of the cycle. Nothing of this magnitude, nothing even of this magnitude, probably for the rest of the cycle, you guys. And it might seem strange, it might feel not right to hear that because you've been traumatized. But I'm telling you, when this thing starts to move up, just remember, look back and see how it moves up. It only knows one pace. And from this price, from this exact price here that you're at right now, let me go from a date, okay? I'm saying your minimum target is a 200% move, which is essentially in the golden ratio zone, right? Isn't that right? Let's see. No. It's up here, my bad. It's at prices at like 38, 40 bucks. To see that same move here, that took 23 days last time. I think this time you are going to move because you were moving up here, you consolidated for a little bit of time, and you moved up still this much up to again a 200% move from the current price from back here. You did that in 25 days, in less than a month. I think you're going to move up a lot more here because you've been consolidating more. There's more despair. There's more capitulation going on. People with the smart money's buying. The scared, panicked, dumb money is selling. No offense to anybody who sold. You've gotten the SHIT beaten out of you, man. It has been bad for Grayscale, but things are about to be good. And what I'm saying is you've been so traumatized, you might not know how to handle the good events. Let me tell you how you handle it. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but you sit on your hands. You just buy and you hold and you wait. This stuff is about to rip. I very much believe we're about to see a rip. And I think that we will see more than this, right? You did this in 25 days last time. I'm expecting something more robust that takes less time this time. I would expect you do see something at, if not above, your current cycle highs by the end of March. And I don't think that sounds crazy at all. I think it's very reasonable and it makes complete sense, especially considering what the rest of the space is going through. The fact that the Bitcoin dominance itself has found its high. We've topped off. We hit the 786 here. If we go from a high to a low, we literally tipped the 786. We're rejecting down. It's perfect. We've got the bearish divergence on the weekly RSI. It's perfect. We're about to move down, you guys. Alt season is beginning, and BCHG and Litecoin, or BCHG and LTCN, are trusts built around altcoins. So things are going to be better now than they've been this whole cycle. And that might seem a bit sour because of what's happened in the last half, but the first half was phenomenal. Things are about to be better now than they've been in the whole cycle. Even during the good times, I'm telling you, this is about to be better. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if I was holding Grayscale right now, I'd be sleeping like a baby. I think things are about to rip. And again, because the ETFs are not out yet, they're not approved. They're looking like they're going to get approved. At least the Litecoin ETF is going to get approved, right? What about the BitW ETF? Let's see. What was I saying? Oh, you guys didn't get to see my private conversation with Grok. I don't even remember what I said, but I'm always curious. I'm always like slightly nervous to see what pops up whenever I don't look at like anything bad, but I just I don't want people judging me for like looking up dumb things, I guess. But what was I fucking just gonna do, man? I can't even remember. Oh yeah. Did the BitW 10 crypto ETF get approved? Let's see. Because this is the one that has Bitcoin Cash in it. It doesn't have Litecoin, but Litecoin has its own ETF going for it, right? Not been explicitly mentioned as approved, provided, yeah. Let's see. When is the dead? deadline date. Oh wait, there we go. Results up to the date of February 17th. I don't know. It's just because of today. When is the deadline date? March 3rd. Okay, so they haven't made a decision yet because it was March 3rd last time. So they're going to come up. Odds are, and the reason why I'm focusing on this is because this one has to do with BCHG. We were talking about LTCN. The LTC ETF hasn't been approved yet, right? But they're filed for, and it looks like they're going to get approved. But LTC is not the only one with an ETF. This Bitwise 10 crypto ETF that I'm looking for here, that also has BCH as a factor in that 10 cryptos. It's not quite the same as having an individual ETF, but I'm just saying before both of these cryptos here get approved or have ETF listings, before either of them do, these Grayscale trusts can still perform very well. We're expecting the underlying assets to have breakout moves of a phenomenal sort that we haven't seen for years now. The underlying assets, and these trusts are still trusts, they're not ETFs, so likely when these pump, they will pump more. That's the point I was trying to make. I got nothing else for you. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. If you're still holding Grayscale, if you're still buying Grayscale, you're about to get your comeuppance. It's coming. It is very soon coming. It's been a long drag, man. It really has. I don't think anybody's expected this, but moments like this are meant to. They're literally. I meant it when I said it down here, guys. People are more excited during moments like this. People are depressed in moments like this. You're not even losing money. You're just not doing anything. You're just bored, right? You're losing money here, and it's more exciting than this stuff. This is where all the depression, all the manic panic selling went down. It wasn't during any of this. And some people might have, obviously, but the majority, the bulk of it happened in this here. Boring phases are traumatic, to say the least. And it teaches you things. It definitely teaches you things. If you were heavily allocated in LTCN or BCHG, this is why you spread out. You spread out into other things, because then if you have one boring thing, it takes the pressure off. It takes the pressure off. It's not that big of a deal, because you can have other things that are exciting, that are moving up, and you can let that boring money chill, and then you don't mess it up, because inevitably it will pump. You know what I mean? You don't make the wrong decision and sell at the wrong time. And even if you are doing the best and you're still holding something like this, I don't know. I feel like there's always lessons to be taken away. But the lesson for me, I suppose, with this coin, or with these trusts, would be, I mean, really, it's the same message probably that I've been saying this whole time, which is just stay away from derivatives, guys. Stay away from derivatives. I think these derivatives right now are going to shine. They're going to shine brighter than the underlying assets do. But then I think for the rest of the cycle, they're going to track the assets, because those ETFs will probably look like they're getting approved, or they might not move as robustly. And the reason why you invest in the underlying asset instead of the derivative is that you might not see as much gains, but the risk is minimized. It's a lot more minimized. There's less human involvement in the underlying asset than there is in the derivatives. And human involvement adds risk at any level, right? That's why driving is so dangerous. Anyways, I'm going to end the video there. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.